We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
A very good morning, dear students. I am Dr. Madhvi Desai, Head of Computer Science and Engineering Department of RNG Patel Institute of Technology, Institute code 084, Zone 05. Today I am going to conduct a lecture on Introduction to Python from the subject of Python Programming code 2180711. So I am going to take a part of the Unit 1 of this particular syllabus. So in this lecture I will cover, these are the topics, that is the basic elements of Python, Python IDLE, how Python works, Python identifiers, reserved keywords, line and indentations in Python, Python commands, variables, and how to assign the values to the variables. So which are the basic elements of the Python? There are basically 3 elements of the Python. One is the script, second is the shell, and third is the statement. So what is script? A Python program is sometimes known as the script. Script is nothing but a sequence of definitions and commands. Second is the shell. Python identifiers are evaluated and the commands are executed by the Python interpreter in something called the shell. Typically, a new shell is created whenever execution of the program begins. So in most of the cases, a window is associated with the shell. Third element of the Python is the statement. Statements are nothing but the commands that instruct the interpreter to do something or perform the actions. Python IDLE. Python comes with the, in this IDLE, Python comes with the graphical user interface that is integrated development environment called known as the IDLE. So IDLE help the users to write the program, to edit the program, or to save the program. So basically IDLE works in the 2 modes, that is the interactive mode and the script mode. So I will explain one by one. So basically the first one is the interactive shell. So Python is an interpreted language and you can run the simple Python expression and statements by writing into this interactive environment. Okay. So this is an integrated program development environment that comes with the Python installation. When you do this, a window named Python shell opens. The speaker shows a shell window on Windows OS. A shell window running on the Windows system or the Linux system should look this similar. Now, when you will write any of the expression into this command interpreter, for example, I'm writing 3 plus 4. So this particular expression will be executed and then its result will be displayed on the next line. The same way I have written the statement, that is Python is the really cool. So the output you can see here, that is Python is really cool. When you are writing into this interactive mode, how you will exit from this window? So either you can quit the Python shell by using the Windows crossbox, or you need to use the combination of the key, that is Ctrl plus D. Python IDLE. So running code in this interactive shell. So first one, in any of the programming language, we require the 3 things, that is the input, second is the execution, that is the processing, and the third one is the output of the processing and input. So Python shell itself is such a program. Its inputs are Python expression or statements. Its processing evaluates these items and the outputs are the result displayed in the shell. The programmer can also force the output of the value by using the print function. So the simplest form of using this function is the print, and in the bracket you can write down the expression. So in this case, is shorthand for any of the Python expression. When running the print function, Python first evaluate the expression and then display its value. In the example shown earlier, print was used to display some of the text. The following is the another example, that is the print, in the bracket I'm writing the hello. So hi, there in this example the text hello is the next that we want the Python to display. So in programming terminology, this piece of text is referred as a string. So in Python code, a string is always enclosed in this quotation marks. However, the print function displays the string without the quotation mark. So if I'm writing here hello, so your output is simply hello without the quotation mark. Now in this input processing and output, the syntax for a print statement with two or more expression looks like this following. Print in the bracket expression, comma, expression, comma, expression. So the print function always ends its output with a new line. So whenever we are writing a print function, it ends with the new line. So in other words, it displays the values of the expression and then it moves to the cursor to the next line. To begin the next output on the same line as the previous one, you can replace the expression called and equal this double quotes, so which says and the line with an empty string at the end of the list of expression as follow. So if I'm not going to use this particular option and equal to this double quotes, then this particular print statement will end with the new line, that is a slash n. But if I want that another particular statement of the print also should be displayed on the same line, then we need to write down this particular expression. Python IDLE. Okay, so these are the basic example in this interactive mode. You can see here, I've written this for loop for I in the range 0 to 3, print I. So it will display 0, 1 and 2. Same way, if I'm writing and equal to, here I have not used and. Okay, so all the output is displayed onto the next line. But if I have written and equal to this space, then 0, 1, 2. Now if I'm writing and equal to this space, okay, in this single quote I have kept here space. So output will be 0, space 1, space 2. So in this way you can use the print statement. Now running code in the interactive cell, input processing and output, that in this, these are the different function. Float, it converts a string of digit to a floating point number. Integer, it converts a string of digits to an integer value. Input, this display the string prompt and waits for the keyword input. It returns the string of character entered by the user. Print expression, comma, expression. So these are the different function. It evaluates the expression and displays them. String 1 plus string 2, it glues the two string together and return the result. So it will merge it. Now, as you create programs in Python, you will often want your programs to ask user for input. So you can do this by using the input function. So you can see here in this function, name is equal to input, enter your name. So return enter your name, that is Madhvi. Okay, now I have returned this variable name. So it will display the Madhvi. I can write down print my name is plus name. So you can write down here plus to join the particular variable with the string. So I have, you can see here the result, that is my name is Madhvi. Then the input function always builds a string from the user's keystroke and returns it to a program. After inputting string that represents the numbers, the programmer must convert them from string to appropriate numeric types. So in Python, there are two type conversion function for this purpose, that is the integer, and the second is the float. Okay, so you can see here name is equal to enter your name. So return enter your name, that is 12. So name is 12. So what it is actually displaying? String. Okay. But if I want to convert this particular input into the integer, I need to typecast using integer and then input, enter your name. So output will be the 12. Okay. Same way, you can see here the example, enter the first number. Second is the enter the second number. I have typecasted using the function integer. Then I can display the summation first plus second. So output is this, sum is 5. Then, so whatever we have seen till now, that is the what we are writing into this particular program. So how to write a program. But if you want to do editing, saving and running a script. So while it is easy to try out short Python expression statement interactively at a small cell prompt, but it is more convenient to compose, edit and save longer, more complex programs in file. Okay, so in that case, we need to write down our program into this particular scripting file. So we can then run this program files or script either within IDLE or from the operating system command prompt without opening the IDLE. So to compose and execute program in this manner, you need to perform this following steps. Select the option new window from the file menu of the cell window. In the new window, enter Python expression or statement on the separate lines in the order in which you want the Python to execute it. At any point, you may save the file by selecting file or save. If you do this, you should use a .py. So Python file has an extension of the .py. For example, your first program file might be named as myprogram.py. Now to run this file of code as a Python script, select run module from your IDLE, run menu, or press the F5 key in the Windows, or the Control plus F5 key if you are using the Mac or Linux OS. So this is the example. I have created the particular file. Then you can save it using the .py, and then you can execute it here. When I will run this particular file using the run window, it will be executed in this way on the interactive cell. You can see the output in this interactive cell. Now, how actually Python works? Okay, so this is the Python code, syntax checker and translator. So syntax checker and translator will see this Python code. If there is a syntax error message, it will display the syntax error message. Then this particular code is converted into the bytecode. So it is given to the Python virtual machine. In this Python virtual machine, we will give the user inputs to this Python virtual machine. In this, we have this bytecode. If any of the error message is available, then you can see the error message. Otherwise, you can see the output code. So this way, the Python works. Then we move to the next. That is the Python identifier. So we all know what is an identifier. So Python identifier is a name used to identify a variable, function, class, module, or other object. So for all these, we need an identifier. So we all know what is an use of identifier. Identifier is nothing but if we want to give a reference to any of the person, then also we need to give a name. Same way we need to give identifier to identify the variable, function, class, module, or any of the object, we need to give some name. So that is nothing but the Python identifiers. This also starts with a letter A to Z or small a to Z, or you can start with the underscore. It follows by 0 or more letters, underscore, and the digit 0 to 9. Python does not allow punctuation characters such as @ $, and percentage within the identifier. Python is a case-sensitive programming language. Here are naming convention for Python identifiers. Class name start with an uppercase letters. All other identifiers start with a lowercase letter. Starting an identifier with a single leading underscore indicates that identifier is a private. Starting an identifier with 2 leading underscore, it indicates that it is a strongly private identifier. And if the identifier also ends with the 2 trailing underscore, then identifier is a language defined special names. So this is about the Python identifiers. These are the, in each and every language, we have some reserved keywords. So Python is also having this reserved keywords, which we cannot use for naming the variables. Okay. So these are the identifier and, assert, break, class, continue, define, del, elif, else, except, same way the others. So these are the reserved keywords in the Python. And you cannot use these keywords to give a name to the constant or to variable or any of the other identifiers. Now we all know that Python works we should know actually that Python works with the indentation. So Python provides no braces to indicate that blocks of code for class or for function or for any of the loops, or we can say the conditional statements. So how this will be specified into the Python, then it's specified using the indentation. So number of spaces in the indentation is actually variable, but all statements within the block must be indented the same amount with the same amount of the spaces. So for example, you can see here, if true, print true, else print true. So you can see here, this is actually a particular block and this is actually a one block. However, the following block generates an error. If I'm writing in this way, if true, okay, but I have not used indentation here, then it will show you an error. So thus in Python, all the continuous line indented with same number of spaces would form one block. When if I want to give comments into the Python, how we can use, so sorry, not comments, but if I want to write down multiple statements in a Python, then how we will write down it? So statement in Python typically end with a new line. So Python does, however, allow the use of the line continuous character. So if I'm writing total equal to item underscore 1 plus this continuous character item underscore 2 plus continuous character item underscore 3. So this will be considered as a one into the one variable, that is total. So if you want to write down the multiple statements here, then you need to use this continuous character. Statement contained within this braces do not need to use the line continuous character. For example, days is equal to Monday, comma, Tuesday, Wednesday, comma, Thursday, Friday. So in this way, if I am using in any of the bracket, in a curly braces, or the, we can say the square bracket, or we can say C bracket. So if you are using into these particular brackets, then there is no need to use this continuous character. Otherwise, if you are writing without these braces, you need to use this continuous character for writing the multiple lines in a statement. Quotation. So we have seen till now that in Python, some of the print statement is written with the single quote, some of the statement is written with the double quote. Even you can write, you can see that triple quote also. So Python accepts single, double, and triple quotes to denote string length literals, as long as the same type of quote starts and end the string. So triple quotes are used to span the string across multiple lines. So you can write down the string into the single quote also. You can write down in the double quotes also. There is no problem. But if you want to write down any of the paragraph, or you want to specify the multiple statements, then you need to write down into the triple quotes. Now, in any of the programming language, we require comments. Okay. So how we can do the comments in a Python language? Okay. So a hash sign, that is not, when we are writing the hash sign, it means it is the commented line. It is not going to be executed. Okay. So this is the comment. This is comment 2. You can see here the example. Okay. So for commenting a particular line in a Python, you need to use the hash. Multiple statements on single line. So the semicolon allows the multiple statements on a single line, given that neither statement starts a new code block. Here is a sample snap. Import sys semicolon x is equal to foo semicolon sys dot standard out dot write. So it means there is the multiple statement we have written. Multiple statements we have written into the single line. So you can use here the semicolon. Okay. Multiple statement groups as a suits. Okay, so you can see here a group of individual statements which make a single code block are called nothing but the suits in the Python. Compound or complex statements such as if, while, define, and class required a header line in a suit. So you can see here the simple example. This is for writing this particular suit, we need to use the indentation. Now the variables. We all know what is the variables. Variables are nothing but the reserved memory location to store a particular value. So this means when you create a variable, you reserve some memory space for that particular identifier. So based on the data type of variable, the interpreter allocates some memory and decide what can be stored into the reserved memory. Therefore, by assigning different types to variables, you can store integers, decimals, or characters in this variables. Now, assigning values to the variable. For assigning the value, you need to use the equal sign. The operand to the left of the operator is the name of the variable, and the right of the operator is nothing but the value we are storing into that variable. So you can see here the different example. Counter is equal to 100, miles is equal to 1000, name is equal to John. Okay. So print counter, print miles, print name. So you can see here, actually we have not created any of the variable using the data type. but it depends on the values of that particular variable. It will automatically understand that this variable is the integer variable, this variable is a floating point variable, or this variable is the string variable. So you can see here. If we want to give multiple assignments, then we can write down this way: a equal to b equal to c equal to 1. So a, b, and c all have the values 1. But if I'm writing a comma b comma c is equal to 1 comma 2 comma so on, it means it will take the first variable, take the first value, means a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to so on. So here a is an integer variable, b is an integer variable, and c is the string variable. So depends on the values, it will take the data type of that particular variable. So the same thing you can see here in the example, the same code I have executed here: a equal to b equal to c equal to 2. If you will print one by one variable, it will print the value 2. But if I'm writing a comma b comma c equal to 2 comma 3 comma Madhvi, so the first variable take the integer value 2, second variable will take the value 3, and the third variable take the value Madhvi. So you can see here. But if I'm writing a comma b equal to 15 comma 20, okay, and then I'm writing a comma b equal to b comma a, that is nothing but what? We are swapping the values into this variable. So you can write down in this way: here a equal to 15, b is equal to 20. Then I'm writing a comma b equal to b comma a, means a equal to b and b equal to a. So when I will print a, it will print the value 20. So this is the multiple assignments example into this Python. So with the summary of this particular lecture, I can say we have covered into this what are the elements of the Python. 3 elements of the Python we have seen. Then how the Python program can be executed. So you can use the Python ideally. When you are using the Python ideally, there are basically 2 modes: interactive mode and scripting mode. So if you are writing a short program, then you can use the interactive code, interactive cell. Or if you want to edit that program, you want to save that program, or you want to reuse that program, then you should go with the scripting mode, and you can use the option run to execute this particular program. So we have seen the Python ideally. Then we have seen how the indentation works into the Python. Then we have seen different how the variables can be created into the Python, and how we can assign the values to the variable, and how we can commence the particular code into the Python. So that is the summary of this particular lecture. So thank you very much from RNGPIT and GTU family.